I'm Johnny Massacre and welcome to the Johnny Massacre Show. On tonight's show, Halo Infinite sucks, Xbox Series X sucks, and Spotify now does video, plus a load of woke shit. So, Halo Infinite, have you seen it yet? Microsoft's killer app that's supposed to sell their new Xbox. It looks fucking awful. Just telling it like it is. Don't believe me? Have a look for yourself. Here we go. Here we go. So, got the title screen. The title screen actually doesn't look that bad. And in we go.
Dead already? I must be. I mean, this is a punishment, right?
Right, really annoying voice.
Yep, this is death.
Okay, this
No!
Spanish sounding character has not had a good introduction. I don't like this guy. I don't give a shit about him.
Hold on.
Got quite an annoying face. Skin texture looking about 10 years out of date.
No.
This literally looks like an Xbox One game.
I can't stand this. Who you are.
Breathe.
No. You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell
The voice acting is not very convincing. He doesn't genuinely sound angry, and the facial animation also doesn't really make him look that angry. This looks like a B-movie drama. This looks like a Netflix special.
Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own and you'd...
Right, shut up. We don't know who this guy is. We don't care.
There won't be a home if we don't stop.
This is the start to the game that's supposed to sell the next generation Xbox.
I know I saw condors over there. I'm going to dig through them and find one with the working sleep space drive. And when you're done with this war, we get away from here. Far away.
Okay, so we're in a bad place and we got to get away.
Please. Let me see what I can find.
Cannons first. When I get back, we can look.
Okay, also, Master Chief's character, not compelling at all. I mean, fuck, you've had 5 years to come up with an exciting intro. Why can't you have him getting tortured with the armor exploded and you can see his human arm coming out? Something crazy like that. No, we're just going to crash land. And look at the texture in the background of the mountain. It's all blocky. It's like they couldn't make a real mountain, so they just made it with pixels. And then look at those little rodents running around. When I saw that, I knew we're fucked. Because the character animations are so poor. Speaking of which, those aliens there, the textures on those are appalling. Look in the bottom left, there's pop-up on those reeds. Those reeds don't even look very good. If they looked amazing, pop-up would still be unacceptable, but the fact they look bad and there's still pop-up is just, it boggles the brain. Again, we've got the Minecraft cliffs in the background. Literally, this looks worse than Red Dead Redemption on the current generation of consoles. Oh my god. Okay, so we've got a very unimpressive looking environment. Really, really bland, muddy, blurry textures. We're looking on the map. This is so dull. No music, just a few bird sound effects. Okay, this is the game that's supposed to sell the next generation Xbox. What is in this that I haven't seen before? This looks like Halo 1. There's no difference at all. I'm sorry, but on a next generation machine, you've got to knock people out the park. This should be the Ferrari of gaming. It should be expensive, sleek, elegant, ostentatious, opulent, luxurious, and it just looks like Scheisse! Okay, this is last generation gameplay. This bit is really, really, really embarrassing. These pods fall down from the sky. It's, it's supposed to be scary, but it's not scary at all because the graphics are just so bad. Maybe if this was 15 years ago, that might scare you. Here's the bubble shield from the original Halo. I mean, I used to love the bubble shield. I don't know why they took it out for the last one, but the bubble shield's supposed to look like a bubble. That's more like a cylinder, so fucked up there. Oh man, look at the texture of the floor and the enemy. They almost blend into one. They kind of overlap, these blurry, bland textures. So, yeah. This is what we've waited 5 years for. Pop up in the background. Minecraft cliffs. Oh my god. Look at the texture of the platform he's standing on. There's no weathering. There are no battle scars, shrapnel, explosive remnants. Absolutely nothing. This is... Microsoft should never have been in gaming. I'm starting to think Xbox, the original one, was just a fluke. It was just a powerful bit of hardware. They had Bungie making Halo. Bungie left to make Destiny. Now 343 have taken over to develop the game, and they're fucking it up badly. I mean, it's too late now. This is it for Halo. This is the final nail in the coffin for Halo, as far as I'm concerned. Why would I want to play this? I've already played this about 15 fucking 20 years ago. And the graphics fucking suck. Okay, so I've seen enough there. So that's Halo Infinite for Xbox Series X. The problem with this is as follows. So Microsoft already have a rather large user base of Xbox One users, and they don't want to miss out on any potential sales to that user base. So instead of developing this Halo specifically and exclusively for the next generation Xbox, which would allow it to take full advantage of the hardware, instead they coded the game so not only would it run on said next generation Xbox, but it will run on current gen Xbox. And so they can't be too ambitious, or the current gen won't be able to run it. How about this, Microsoft? You just released a shitty looking Halo game. People are now not going to buy the new Xbox Series X. What incentive is there to go and buy it if it's already coming out on the current gen? If you had some balls and a bit of entrepreneurialism, what you would have done is developed it exclusively for the next generation Xbox, knocked it out the park, made it look incredible, so when people saw that gameplay reveal, they would have no choice but to buy your new console in order to experience this luscious game. But instead, you've played it safe and you've lost again. If you had developed it for the new Xbox, it could have been a killer app. You could have sold loads of Xbox Series X's. You could have got a foothold at the beginning and staved off the might of Sony. But as it stands, Sony are going to rape you yet again. You need to get that initial foothold, and now you've lost it. You had your chance. You had 5 fucking years, and it looks like dog shit. And not only that, there's pop-up in it and Minecraft cliffs. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, Microsoft? So the game's reveal was just as bad as that. It really was just as bad. The games were really woke as well. Yay, woke games. You want to get woke? Well, you're going to fucking pay for it, because the games are going to suck. So let's have a look at some of the other games. This is a real what the fuck moment. You're not going to believe how bad these look. Here we go. So, oh man, this fucking woke shit. So, I'm getting an ad. I'm gonna.
Online is a
Just gonna flick through this video revealing various games. So they've also got Halo. We've already seen that, so we don't want to see that again. So, there's this game where you're in the snow. Another kind of minority, strong, powerful woman of color in the lead role. There's so many in this game. Forced diversity. All the games are getting woke, which is excellent, because I love to see politics in my games. The graphics in this actually look quite good, but this doesn't look like gameplay, so I can't trust it. Halo was gameplay, so that is where your expectation should be, I'm sorry to say. The graphics are better in this game. I really, really hope it looks like this. If it does look like this, then Halo has even less of an excuse to look that shitty. So look, blood trail in the snow. That's bad. There's blood. That means someone's dying. She touched the blood. She's walking along trying to find the source of the blood. She's got a crossbow in hunting mode. She's seen something. She has something in her sights. Now Wolf is getting eaten by what must be a serious apex predator. Oh dear. That's fucking terrifying. Mutant Zombie D, a State of Decay 3. So that looked not too bad. Credit where credit is due. No gameplay though. Is that going to make me buy a console? No, because it's just a flashy demonstration video. So then you've got this guy who comes out. Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. This guy's such a knob. He's so fake. His fake smile. Wheeled out by the corporate stooges to sell his product.
First-party games. What you will see today is how Xbox game studios are harnessing their passions to bring their dreams to life. We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on. Xbox Game Pass is the best way to discover and play, and we want you to be able to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription or free to play. These games will look and play best on Xbox Series X.
So trying to find all these ways to monetize now beyond just the software and peripherals, and now you sign up for this pass. That's not going to make me buy the fucking console. The only thing I want is good games. That's it.
And we built state-of-the-art platform technology to allow every developer to realize their full vision.
Why does Halo, your flagship title that you're giving full backing to, look so terrible, Phil?
And they're early in development on the next Forza Motorsport.
Alright, so Forza Motorsport, another fucking sequel. But look, this does look quite sexy. Look at these graphics. See, if Halo looked like this, all would be forgiven. I'd be ready to buy an Xbox. But no, no. You timid, cautious, cowardly fucks. You developed the new Halo for that original Xbox. You couldn't help it. So this looks much more impressive. Texture's looking way better than Halo. It says footage captured in engine, but is this the actual game? Is it the game? Because once the AI's in play, usually the frame rate will suffer and everything will look much worse. So in engine, beware of that statement. Okay, so next, this is where it all goes downhill. You've got to see the live comments for this because they're so telling. Let's read some of the live comments. The comments are going to get super harsh on this.
Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it.
Oh no, what is this woke, sensitive bullshit? Look, 4 strong female leads, forced diversity.
It is found in the smallest moments.
Luckily for Microsoft, the chat isn't even right. I'm going to refresh this because you've got to see the chat. I need to see the chat scrolling because people are dunking on this game so fucking hard. Right, here we go. Yeah, you won't escape Microsoft.
In the bonds we share.
Right, everyone's ripping on these cartoony games because cartoon games are a cheap way to make the average consumer think the graphics are good when they're actually not that good. So some of the comments here. For fuck's sake, what a letdown. Here we go again, cartoon games on a 12 frames per second console.
It teaches us to look beyond the expected.
Guys, this is our black guy mentioning the forced diversity. Go to sleep, Xbox. This is garbage, says Turtle15.
Dark places.
It's getting to the point where I just hate video games, says Killer1711.
Answers.
What the fuck is this, says The Godfather. Oh, rest in peace, says Anthony V.
And to stand watch.
PS5 is winning so far. Lame. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Another guy said, what the fuck is this?
Rhythm.
Xbox, Jesus Christ. What the fuck, laughing face.
But only a few truly feel it.
What is this? And there's a guy doing a puke emoji. Man is bad, the game. So that people are calling out this woke shit. Nobody wants woke stuff. So you've got your killer title, looks like shit, and the third title you show is some woke, forced diversity, cartoon graphics. Scheiße! Was ist denn das Scheiße? Guck mal, guck mal hier. Komm mal hier, guck mal, das ist ein kleiner bisschen de Scheiße. What is this? Who is this woke woman? What is this nonsense?
in. It's a place to be eternal. And eternal has the gift to set
Social Science, the game. Okay, I've seen enough of this fucking bollocks. Next game. Right, now this game is about a trans man. So this is a trans man. This is actually a woman, but no, they're not really a woman. They're literally a male because they think it, and whatever you think, it becomes reality. So the fourth game they're showing is some trans game with graphics that look like Sega Genesis. I'll pass on that, thank you.
Delivering unprecedented game feel with
Okay, so let's flick it on a little bit.
This unit cannot bring you any drinks.
Oh man, I mean, I could just flick onto any point and it's going to be fucking garbage. What is this? There's some more cartoon kiddie bollocks.
And I can't taste the sky.
Let's read some of the comments.
I can see each molecular
PS1, it's over, boys.
my cosmic eye. Senses are the magic key. They fill the holes.
Guess I'm sticking to PC. PS5 was trash and this isn't much better.
Unlocking all my memories.
I play on all the systems and this event is a joke when compared to PS5.
Never.
Laugh my fucking ass off, thumbs down. What are we, 12 years old? I thought this was supposed to be next gen. Look at this garbage. What is this? I don't want to buy this and I don't want to play this.
You also get access to all.
Okay, Destiny 2. Yay! Current gen gaming, maybe with slightly better resolution. Can't wait for that.
Destiny 2 will also be playable on mobile from the cloud.
And then, oh my god, is this nerd? Okay, forced diverse character. Yay! A female woman of color. I mean, all of these games are so, I don't want a fucking woke game. I want a game that's just made by people who want to make the game to make it fun. They don't put politics in it. If there's politics in it, it's dishonest. I can't relate to that. It feels like a trick. It feels like propaganda. Fuck all that shit. Oh man, that also looks pretty bad.
It all starts with a
What else have we got here? There's one other one I wanted to show you that looks particularly bad.
the moon, scent of pines,
I think it's here.
and then
Oh, here we go. Right. So, have a look at this game.
If you're waiting.
Okay, so we got a trans girl
Game of the year.
and 3 minorities, 1 man. So again, this is totally woke. This is basically made by guilty white people who think minorities are retarded, and so they need to give them some kind of handicap boost because they feel sorry for them. Again, the white knights will save you by putting them in your video game. Not that you'd be there on merit just because you're the white person's plaything. That's woke video games for you. Okay, I mean, I've seen enough. I've seen enough of this. So, as you can see, Microsoft doing their utmost best in order to make their new console fail. Halo Infinite, massive, crushing disappointment. And Xbox Series X, all revealed games look like garbage. So I was really disappointed about that. I was so excited to see the new Halo because Halo 3 is my favorite game of all time. And unfortunately, I was greeted with that. And I was absolutely devastated, as you can imagine. So, what have we got next for today? Well, Polygon, they did an article about this, and so did GameRant.com. And GameRant had a few memes from the people who were cussing the game. So GameRant.com says Halo fans are not happy about Halo Infinite's graphics. They say 343 Industries and Microsoft released the first campaign gameplay trailer for Halo Infinite, with many fans complaining about the graphics. They say after years of build-up, Microsoft finally revealed the first look at Halo Infinite's campaign, showing Master Chief exploring a brand new, seemingly open-world Halo ring. While many have praised the gameplay shown during the reveal, there's been no shortage of negative comments online, with Twitter flooded by people complaining about Halo Infinite's graphics, especially since it's set to be the Xbox Series X's flagship title this holiday season. The Halo Infinite campaign mission on display was noted to have some pop-in and other visual hiccups, but most of the criticism seems aimed at the character models and textures. Fans have been comparing Halo Infinite to much older games to show that they had better graphics than this brand new release, and others have gone as far as to say that Halo Infinite looks like it's releasing for the Xbox 360 instead of the next generation Xbox Series X. So let's look at some of the Twitter posts and memes. Ross O'Donovan says, why did the terrain in Halo Infinite look like Minecraft from a distance? That's what I was thinking. Possibly because they couldn't do it and run the game in 60 frames a second, so they made it blocky, and they hope that no one would notice and they actually think it's part of the design. I love this kind of meme. It says actual leaked footage of Halo Infinite gameplay and then shows some shitty Minecraft graphics with some welfare gun. Belgrade says, guys, the graphics for Halo Infinite look amazing and has some horrible kind of Lego animated characters. Blig Up says, didn't realize Halo Infinite was dropping on 360, and you've got a screenshot of Halo Infinite with an incredibly ugly, bland looking character model for a brute, and the arm of Master Chief and the gun, which are really smooth with a horrible texture that does look about 10 to 15 years out of date. Cartridge Game says Infinite looks ugly, but I think I see what they're going for. It looks more like the original Halo. So here is a shot. The composition of it is fucking dreadful. It draws your eyes away from the body of the image, this guy on the left and all this crap around the outside. And you've got this little alien here with just the worst looking skin you can possibly imagine. It looks last gen. It doesn't even look current gen. And you got Mr. Lightning Bolt, aka Jack the Ripper, saying Killzone Mercenary on PS Vita 2013 versus Halo Infinite, Xbox One X, Series X, the most powerful console in the market. So on the left, you've got a 7-year-old handheld game, and on the right, you've got this fucking ugly ass graphics from Xbox Series X on the brute antagonist from the series. And the other article on Polygon, they had very similar memes, but they did have a comparison to the the Xbox 360 version of Halo, which was Halo 3, and Halo 3 definitely looks better, I'd have to say. Why don't you have a look for yourself? So there's more Minecraft style memes. Look at this. Internet Loner says a 10-year difference. Left is Xbox 360, right is Xbox Series X. Yes, Halo Infinite does not look good. So on the left, a 10-year-old game, there's a lot of weathering on the gun, and it just looks like a good design. On the right, it looks like a piece of fucking Lego, mate. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And that was my initial reaction, and I was pleased to see other people online were caning it too. I waited 5 years for that. I was actually genuinely excited because the previous Halo was a return to form, but it wasn't exactly brilliant. So I thought that the developers 343 will run with that concept, safe in the knowledge that what they're doing is working, and then they'd make it really next gen and cool and add loads of cool shit. Bungie always added loads of cool shit. Remember Halo 2, they added dual wielding. That was fucking amazing. Then Halo 3, they added all the equipment like the bubble shield and stuff, which was fucking awesome. And this one, they have a grappling hook. Wow. So yeah, massive disappointment. Microsoft have dropped the ball. It's wide open for Sony and PlayStation now. Their next event with their games reveal, Sony could really run away with it. So what else is going on today? Well, Spotify now do video. So just some quick news here. You should probably know this. If you don't own Spotify, you were kind of on the fence about getting it. I won't get it because they're part of the woke mob. But They are launching a video service. So Spotify is the biggest music streaming site in the world. This is big news. They're obviously going to be challenging YouTube. And YouTube, as you probably know, if you have it on your phone and you're not subscribed, you have to have it on with the video on in order to listen to it. If you go out of the application, it stops playing. But Spotify, even with their video, will keep playing even if you're not subscribed to it. So Spotify really undercutting YouTube and going at them hard. TechCrunch said Spotify today announced the global launch of video podcasts. The new feature at launch will allow users, including both free users and paid subscribers, to watch the video content from a select group of creator podcasts, which will include Joe Rogan. But unlike on YouTube, where only paid subscribers can listen to YouTube video content in the background while they do other things on their device, Spotify says its users will be able to seamlessly move between the video version and the audio. When multitasking, audio content will continue to play in the background as you use other apps or even if you lock your phone. The video podcasts are supported on both the desktop and mobile app, and video will serve as an additional component, not a replacement for the audio. That means you'll still be able to stream the audio or download the podcast for offline listening if need be. So only a handful of podcasts are offered starting today, including Book of Basketball 2.0, Fantasy Footballers, The Misfits podcast, H3 podcast, The Morning Toast, Higher Learning, and Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay, and Rooster Teeth podcast. I haven't heard of one of these. These are only available in the markets where podcasts are already supported, Spotify says. So, there you go. You can now get video on Spotify. What else is happening? Well, there's quite a lot of woke shit going on. So, Nick Cannon, the guy who's famous for having a face like a donkey's cock and also having banged Mariah Carey, he came out and he's compared white people to animals. He said that white people are basically rapists, thieves, and robbers. And because they have less melanin in their bodies, they're lesser people and they're savages. That's literally what he said. And he lost his job on CBS or something, but he kept his job on Fox after apologizing. Meanwhile, some guy who's a curator for an art museum in San Francisco, when being asked, in light of the fact they're now being pushed to feature more black art because of hashtag Black Lives Matter, aka neo-Marxists, in regard to if white people will still have their work featured, he responded, yes, we will still collect art from white people. And then he lost his job. Don't believe me? Have a look at this here. Museum curator resigns after he is accused of racism for saying he would still collect art from white men. So just saying that you're answering a question if you'll still collect art from white people will make you lose your job. But calling white people animals and savages, you can pretty much keep your job. The hypocrisy is alive and well in the media, and this is extremely dangerous. When we can openly just be racist in the media, it's kind of terrifying, because back in the day, you definitely couldn't do any of that shit. You can't talk trash on someone like that. But now it's okay to do it. And that's going to make the world a really horrible place to live. But fuck it. Fuck it. Let's just all go down a downward spiral into hell. Why not? It's going to be fun. So, yeah, woke news. Well, what else is racist this week that you might not have heard about? Well, maths is racist, apparently. So, there's an article about why mathematics is racist, and I'm sure you're going to find this very exciting. So, why don't we read it and let's see if maths is racist. So, the American Mathematical Society asks, can mathematics be anti-racist? Oh, double negative. In 2017, mathematics education professor Rochelle something wrote that mathematics operates as whiteness. No, it doesn't. It operates as numbers. Word of this spread quickly, leading to a strong backlash of hate mail and offensive comments. So say some stupid shit, really stupid shit, and then when people call you out, play the victim and says, oh, everyone's hating on me. No wonder being woke is so popular, because you're fucking invincible. You just can't be criticized. Well, I'll criticize you. You're a fucking idiot if you think maths is racist. You're looking for problems that aren't there. because it's lucrative being woke. The article says this soundbite is often quoted without context. So here's some context. Who gets credit for doing and developing mathematics? Who even talks about who gets credit? No one fucking cares. People just use it to add up their shopping list, you wanker. And who is seen as part of the mathematical community is generally viewed as white. If white people made it famous, then white people made it famous. Don't be bitter, don't be jealous. Just black people make some new equations and then people will talk about them. You know what? When I think of old school maths, I don't think of white people. I think of Egypt and shit. They were the original mathematical bad men, right? Before even ancient Greece and Rome. So I don't know what you're talking about, mate. You're just looking for problems that aren't there. You're trying to play the victim and trying to make a quick buck off it. This dude says, school mathematics curricula emphasizing terms like Pythagorean theorem and pi perpetuate a perception that mathematics was largely developed by Greeks and other Europeans. People use Greek words all the time because it's trendy. Stop whining, you little whiny bastard. The article continues, in this sense, at least in the US, one could certainly argue that mathematics operates as whiteness. Well, you could say anything operates as whiteness because white people made a lot of shit, but no one cares about that anymore because it's ancient history. Today we live in a free society where black and white people can use all the maths they want and apply them to anything, and it's totally fair and equal. Can mathematics be anti-racist? The author asks. Last semester I developed a class called Inequalities, Numbers and Justice, keyword being justice. If you see that word anywhere these days, it means the person who's writing it is writing a load of pseudo-scientifical woke bullshit. And this class this person developed was aimed towards non-majors. Of course, because no serious major would take that madness seriously. The author says, my students range from undergraduate seniors to students in the local high school because the youngsters are more easily brainwashed, with majors ranging from government to Chinese to computer science. Wow. It was the second incarnation of a course I had taught years ago, in which we worked through the ideas in Gutstein and Peterson's Rethinking Mathematics, teaching social justice by the numbers. You must be an exciting teacher, which was written at the middle school level. You got to get them when they're young, because otherwise no one will believe this bullshit. In Inequalities, my hope was to develop these ideas into a college-level course. Over the course of the semester, we explored how notions of fairness and equality have been considered from the point of view of mathematics and economics. Well, yes, mathematics are also used to count the number of dead people, but it doesn't make mathematics bad. What ways were these ideas defined and given the definitions? How can they be measured? We covered topics ranging from the misuses of statistics to gerrymandering to racial capitalism and climate change. So your course is just democratic ideology. And I'll read one more sentence, but it's getting hard to read this now because you're such a liar and you're so dishonest. In the end, students were able to appreciate the complexities of fairness, the deep inequities that capitalism produces. Yes, the deep inequities that allow anyone to write an article like this and publish it so anyone can consume it, unlike pretty much all the other commie countries that would never allow people to speak their mind this freely without being chucked into a gulag. And finally, the author says, and question the idea that mathematics is politically neutral. Yes, mathematics is neutral and it's just a bunch of numbers and it is colourless. So stop making problems when they're not there. So yeah, maths is racist apparently. Guess what else is racist? I found this one out. Allspice is racist. So what the fuck is allspice? My dad gave me his recipe for porridge for my mate, my Japanese mate, who really wanted some British porridge. And my dad said one of the key components of porridge is allspice, and I looked it up and it's just bare spices, mate. Bare spices all mixed together, yeah? And I looked up allspice on Wikipedia, and guess what? It's racist because it was encountered by Christopher Columbus. Oh no, the conqueror Columbus. You know when Columbus pulls his ship upon the shore and he's about to rape and pillage, he just looks at the natives and goes, Columbus, and then starts the pillage. Apparently that's what he used to do. So according to Wikipedia, allspice was encountered by Christopher Columbus on the island of Jamaica during his second voyage to the New World. It continued to be grown primarily in Jamaica, though a few other Central American countries produced allspice in comparatively small quantities. So, allspice is racist. Allspice was touched and tainted by white boy Columbus. So now we can't spice up our porridge with allspice. What else is racist recently? Sleep is racist. I didn't know this, but apparently sleep is racist. So North Korea's main inspiration, Teen Vogue, has run an article about how sleep is racist. So this is going to be exciting. Here it is. Black power naps. So there's some black people sleeping and it looks like they're having an orgy and the guy's just clearly bust a nut into this one on the right because she's looking rather happy. And there's maybe a bit of nipple there. It's quite erotic, this picture. Anyways, Black Power Naps is addressing systemic racism in sleep, says Brittany McNamara. She says, Dream Diary is a series exploring dreams, nightmares, and what happens when they bleed into real life. Here, the creators of Black Power Naps talk about rest as reparations. Okay, and the need for sleep to realize your dreams. Oh, this is a bit wishy-washy. Fanny Sosa and Naviled Acosta were tired. Is this a comedy? But it wasn't just any old fatigue. Yes, they experienced a lack of sleep, but they were specifically experiencing a generational fatigue familiar to black people and people of color. Ooh, I feel so tired because of something that happened 200 years ago. From this sleeplessness, the two created Black Power Naps. It came from understanding the American dream of the sleepless one, Sosa said. We inherited this exhaustion. You can't inherit exhaustion. Black Power Naps is an artistic initiative. I mean, what isn't this thing? It's fucking everything. It's reparations. It's fucking generational fatigue. It's realizing your dreams. It's just a little bit of everything. And it includes physical installations, zines, and opera, and more. It's got fucking everything in here, mate, Black Power Naps. But it's also a recognition of the hundreds of years of sleep deprivation that black people and people of color have experienced as a result of systemic racism. A way to push back against the false stereotype that black people are lazy. And an investigation of the inequitable distribution of rest. Rest is not distributed. Nobody tells you how much you can sleep. You choose when you can sleep. It's a free market. You can do whatever job you want. You can do a job where you can sleep shitloads. You can even do a gig job. You can do Uber Eats, choose your own fucking hours. And there's no institutional bias whatsoever and sleep your ass off, which discredits your whole article. This is very wishy-washy. Anyways, the point is sleep along with mathematics and allspice has been cancelled. And wait, there's more. Guess what else is racist? Can you guess? Why don't you guess? Give me 3 seconds to guess. What else is racist this week? 3, 2, 1. That's right. The sound you're hearing is classical music's long overdue reckoning with racism. Classical music is racist because it was made by these people. So pretty much all of these are saying that because of things that happened hundreds of years ago, today they're bad. But you know what? If you had been alive hundreds of years ago, you probably would have done the same shit. You wouldn't be the revolutionaries. You cannot say that you woke people of today are the only good people in all of history. Back then, you probably wouldn't have gone against the grain. I'm reading a book called Gulag Archipelago, which is the definitive book on communism and totalitarianism. And the guy says there's a very, very, very fine divide between good and evil that cuts through the heart of every man, woman, and child. And it's like a pendulum. You swing between it all your life. And if you go too far into evil, it's very hard to go back. But if you are punished for your crimes, you might be able to extricate them from your soul. And therefore, by this logic, all these woke people, if they were alive at this time, they probably would have had slaves. They probably would have participated in it. And you know what? Do you know what is one of the strongest things you can do? Is forgive, is forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. Because without forgiveness, we can't move on and we can't be strong. We will be perpetual victims and we will be resentful. And It's just a good thing to do. So why don't we just forgive? Why don't we forgive and move on in the beautiful free markets of the modern era? There is an article out there that says in order to make these orchestras more diverse, to combat the racism in classical music, we should end blind auditions. So you heard that right. We shouldn't close our eyes and just listen to the ability of the player and not know what color they are. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't give people jobs based on their talent. We should open our eyes and give them jobs based on their skin color. So we're putting a value on people because of their skin color. We are assuming that people whose skin is of a certain color think and act a certain way, and so therefore they need special treatment. This is the very textbook definition of racism. And in the book that I'm reading, The Gulag Archipelago, it's really, really terrifying. The guy talks about what true evil is, and he said, the comic book villains who would just do evil for evil's sake, that's not the real evil. He said he said even in Shakespeare's Macbeth, the antagonist, that's not real evil. He said real evil is people who do evil shit, but they masquerade as good people. So they're doing something horrible, but they actually say it's good. And not only that, but they seek reward and praise for doing something evil and saying that it's good. That is the true evil of our time. And that's what social justice warriors do. They are just as racist as the people they claim are racist. And they masquerade as if they're doing a good thing, but they're actually doing an evil thing and fucking up the world. And they seek praise for it, which is the true evil, I believe. This cancel culture is a hallmark of totalitarianism and fascism. Don't believe me? Well, the man I'm talking about who wrote the book, Gulag Archipelago, his name is Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And he actually brought down communism itself, apparently, with this epochal book. So I'm going to read you some quotes from the book. Let's have a look. So he said, a student's denunciation that a certain lecturer in a higher educational institution kept citing Lenin and Marx frequently, but not Stalin, was all that was needed for the lecturer not to show up for lectures anymore. So this is happening all the time. Lindsay Shepherd was fired from a Canadian university for highlighting one person that is not allowed, who is supposed to be cancelled, Jordan Peterson. This happens all the time nowadays. Lecturers lose their jobs for things that are not racist or controversial at all. And that is what used to happen in totalitarian Russia. Let's have a look at some more quotes from this guy because he's just so awesome. Some of this might blow you away. So this is his quotes about evil. He said, if only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart? Are these woke people really so pure? Would they have been so pure if they had been alive during the times that they are saying caused all this systemic oppression? The author says, during the life of any heart, this line keeps changing place. Sometimes it is squeezed one way by exuberant evil, and sometimes it shifts to allow enough space for good to flourish. One and the same human being is, at various ages, under various circumstances, a totally different human being. But according to Twitter, if you said one bad thing a long time ago, that defines your character forever. Again, the negative effects of wokeness. The author says, at times he is close to being a devil, at times to sainthood. But social justice warriors, saints 24/7. The author says, but his name doesn't change, and to that name we ascribe the whole lot, good and evil. Socrates taught us, know thyself. Confronted by the pit into which we are about to toss those who have done us harm, the Twitter mob tossing innocent people into the cancel culture vortex memory hole. Confronted by that very pit into which we are about to toss those who have done us harm, we halt, stricken dumb. It is after all only because of the way things worked out that they were the executioners and we weren't. So he's saying that those Twitter mob who are cancelling people, it might easily have been the other way around. Such is the fine line between good and evil. They could be the ones who are being oppressed, and the conservatives could be the ones throwing them into the fiery pits, into the memory holes of society, if the conservatives had made the big tech companies, which they didn't. Forgiveness, people. What he's saying is we need a little forgiveness sometimes. The author says, from good to evil is one quaver, says the proverb. That must be a Russian proverb. And correspondingly, from evil to good. Whoever got in by mistake either adjusted to the milieu or else was thrown out or eased out or even fell across the rails himself. Still, were there no good people left there? But no, that's not the way it is. To do evil, a human being must first of all believe that what he's doing is good. Social justice warriors, they believe what they're doing is good. Or else that what they're doing is a well-considered act in conformity with natural law. Just look at the political correctness of today. Everyone thinks what they're doing is in conformity with the laws of big tech, the laws within laws. These big tech companies make up laws to their own censorship terms within the laws of the United States and the countries they reside in. Fortunately, the book says, it is in the nature of human being to seek a justification for his actions. Macbeth's self-justifications were feeble, and his conscience devoured him. Yes, even Iago was a little lamb too. The imagination and the spiritual strength of Shakespeare's evildoers stopped short at a dozen corpses because they had no ideology. So the textbook villain and antagonist, they kill a few people, they're bad guys, but they're not truly evil because they don't have ideology like communists, socialists, social justice warriors. The author says, ideology, that is what gives evildoing its long-sought justification. That's what gives cancel culture its long-sought justification and gives the evildoer the necessary steadfastness and determination. This guy is the authority on totalitarianism. Listen to what he's saying. This guy brought down communist Russia with these very thoughts. He says, that is the social theory which helps to make his acts seem good instead of bad in his own and others' eyes, so that he won't hear reproaches and curses, but will receive praise and honours for cancelling innocent people. That was how the agents of the Inquisition fortified their wills, by invoking Christianity. The conquerors of foreign lands, by extolling the grandeur of their motherland. These people justifying their evil actions. The Nazis justified by race. And the Jacobins, early and late, by equality, brotherhood, and the happiness of future generations. Thanks to ideology, the 20th century was fated to experience evildoing on a scale calculated in the millions. They estimate tens, if not hundreds of millions of people died due to the ideology of socialism, Marxism. By the way, the people who created Black Lives Matter are Marxists. Just thought I'd tell you that. The author says, this cannot be denied, nor passed over, nor suppressed. How then do we dare insist that evildoers do not exist? And who was it that destroyed these millions? Without evildoers, there would have been no archipelago, which is a metaphor for all the gulags in Russia. I hope you sleep well tonight. So, yeah, we talked a little bit about cancel culture today and racism and political correctness and the dangers of that. This book is really awesome. I do recommend you read it. There's a bunch of other stuff today, but I'm not going to bore you to tears too much with woke political stuff. So, yeah, that could be pretty much it for today, I think. Keeping it short and sweet. I will be back very soon with another Johnny Massacre show. Don't you worry about that. I'm watching the Clint Eastwood trilogy, the Dollars trilogy, for a fistful of dollars, for a few dollars more. And I'm about to watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. They're awesome. I'm going to review all three of them for you. Very iconic, stylish, beautiful films. So you can look forward to that later in the week. And I'll tell you what, mate, you better be back for the next video, because otherwise I'll be coming around your house. Make sure to like and subscribe. And hit that notification bell, because that is what all those other cunts tell you to do. Laters.